Shalom, Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to Lek out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Right, I want to get into a quick lesson. Pray up to stay up, man. And you can any lesson that we do, is things that we can never stress enough. First and foremost, to one of us, that's of this faith, that's of this knowledge, and secondarily, you know, to the rest of our people that are out there, that have yet to wake up, but they got their nose on to the trail, man, and slowly but surely seeing, what time it is and the Lord bringing them, into a better understanding of things, by using us to reel them into this word, by them having the ears to hear and listen and eyes to see, everything that's going on around them. And, the strengthening of that, and of our whole fiber, comes through, of course, a multitude of ways, us praying, us fasting, us seeking the Lord, us living righteously as possible. All of these different things are a big combination, towards us upholding ourselves within a society, us upholding ourselves in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And prayer is something that continually nourishes that bond in which we have with the Most High. So it's very, very important, in our everyday lives, man. And, want to do this also to put myself in more of a reminder, to be on it a lot more as far as prayer, okay? Um, a self-check, so to speak. So, with that, this is the book of Psalms 37, and I'm gonna start at verse 23, and it says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. I have been young, and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread." And, every time I think about this scripture, it just constantly makes me think about the times, when I was in the world, and especially times right before coming into this truth. You would always be put in certain situations to where, you up one minute and you down the next. But regardless of what, you always keep a sense of strength, and you always seem to make it through, whether it's you coming down to your last few dollars, then the Lord provide a job for you, or, just different things like that. And the Lord constantly showing you his ways, and a lot of that is, due to what? Lord willing, we're a part of the elect. And just a lot of that is prayer. Even though in the times in the world, we didn't have the name of the Lord, but the Lord was always there with us, because obviously, we are a part of this truth, and, hopefully we are chosen, uh, as his true men, as those that were here from the foundation of the earth, creating the worlds as we now know it. And that's why, when it says what the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way, what the Lord, has to put the stamp, on those things for you to walk in that way. And then verse 24 says, though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down. And that's exactly what I mean every time, every single time. And you can't do nothing else but give it up to the Lord, because every single time that you getting, to a very, very low point, the Lord do something to pick you right back up, man. And this is why it's so very important, man. In order to, you got to pray up to stay up, man. Because now that we have this truth, it's not something light and to be taken for granted as far as us communicating with the Lord. Because just when we least think it, man, the Lord is going to pick you up, greatly, man. Even if it's little by little, you know. But the Lord always comes through. For the Lord holdeth him with his hand. So it's like those moments when you feel like you buckling down to your knees. The Lord like, hold up, I still got you. You're not gonna always fall down and lay down upon the ground. You might be on your knees, but you, I still got your hand. I'm holding you up, so don't worry about nothing, man. So that's why prayer has to continually nourish that bond in which we have, so that the Lord don't take his hand away from us. When those points when we fall down to our knees and we don't fall flat on our face. And, I truly believe, within my spirit that, a part of, other men falling out from the truth or coming up and bucking up against the apostles and different things like that. A big part of that is that the prayers, not praying enough to the Most High, and that they weren't sincere. If they did ask the Most High of anything, it was to consume things for their own gain, for their own turn, right? And that's why verse 25, I have been young and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. And even with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, because the best way for me to explain things is through my personal situations. That's why, I use them. And just like that, remember times in the world, losing, loss of a prominent job that I had, and right down to my last molecule maybe had like $40-50 to my name, but something else came through for me, man. It wasn't much, but it was something. A job just doing the weekends 2 nights out the week, uh, was able just to sustain me, even though I wasn't in my apartment anymore, but I had to go back to stay with family or whatever. But that was just enough for me to, take care of my car insurance, my phone bill, at the time, so I could still keep the internet on my phone, so I could look up for jobs on Craigslist and other sites and Indeed.com and stuff like that, and enough for me, and my son to eat every day, man. So that was truly a blessing just to be held up by the Lord, uh, during those times, man. And those are the times when you down and out that we have to really cleave onto in order to, remember how much the Lord does for us, man. Because he could let us completely fall flat on our face, man. But as it said, in verse 24, what for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. And if we are truly a part of the Lord, then he, regardless of what, he won't let us starve out here, man. He won't let his hand let our hand go, regardless of what, man. And just to go something to, like I said, how I personally believe that, a lot of a big part of, other guys falling out and bucking up and doing the things they do, is because, if they do ask for anything, they asking about it in the wrong manner. So they not praying up to stay up, man. They I don't know what you want to call it, but it's just not praying up to stay up, man. It's in a false and insincere manner. So this is James 4:1. For whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members? Ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust. And that's exactly what it be. The guys that get puffed up, through the knowledge, guys that get puffed up, by seeking vainglory, wanting some type of notoriety, believing that they know it all, et cetera, man. This is why our people do not obtain things, man. And the ones that's uh, people that's in the ones of our people that's in the world that do, happen to obtain things, the Lord is using them as a prime example, for when they fall, their fall is going to be greater than anything, man, because their fall is all coming near and dear. All right, so with that, go to one of my favorite precepts on prayer. Um, Philippians 4:6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, that your requests be made known unto the Most High. So that's what it is. Be careful for nothing. So in every little thing, you know, whether it's something that you're unsure about, of course, little things, the Lord want us to, try to use our judgment, as best as possible, or, asking other brothers, sometimes for certain advice on certain things. And, hey, and the Lord will use brothers, to actually speak to your mindset, to help to put you in a better mind frame of things, and to have a better understanding, in times in which, you may feel a little cloudy in the head about a decision, or you need some clarification, you know, and so we can't hesitate, when we need things of the Lord unto ask them, because the Lord wants to provide for us. He want to do these things for us. He want us, to ask of him. Your Father, regardless of how old you get, your Father wants to always, look upon you and know that you're going to be all right. But, at the same time, your Father knowing that as you're growing up, whether you're a man or it is to be a man, you're always going to need some type of guidance. And that's what the Most High Yahweh Shah provides for us. He always provides that guidance, So that is very, very important, man. You always need a guide in life at every step, in every corner of your life. You're always going to need some type of guide, some type of father figure. And what other better father figure than the Lord? I noticed that with business people that succeed in businesses, a lot of times they have a mentor. And the thing is, they don't stop getting mentored because you reach different heights, you reach different levels of things. And you're always going to need that guidance of others, who have made it and who are more successful than you. So in this instance, that would be, brothers that's older than us in the spirit, the elders, the apostles, so on and so forth, man. Um, yeah, so with that, yeah, let me go to the book of Tobit. So it's like I said, the title of the lesson is what pray up to stay up, man. So these are the primary ways in which we stay up strong through this faith, man. It's just a big part of the package. All right, so where do I want to start at? I hit to the point. Tobit 12:12. Now therefore, when thou didst prayest and Sarah thy daughter-in-law, this the angel Rapaya Allah, talking to Tobit. All right. Now therefore, when thou didst pray, and Sarah thy daughter-in-law, I did bring the remembrance of your prayers before the Holy One. So what the angel, this is what he was in charge of. He brought the remembrance of his prayers before the Lord. And when thou didst bury the dead, I was with thee likewise. And when thou didst not delay to rise up and leave thy dinner to go and cover the dead, thy good deed was not hid from me, but I was with thee. And now the Most High hath sent me to heal thee and Sarah thy daughter-in-law. I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels, which present the prayers of the saints, and which go in and out before the glory of the Holy One. So this is a part of what the Lord, as we got into the book of Psalms, about the Lord holding our hand, and not letting us go, and the Lord having his angels, to be in remembrance of our prayers, and having these certain angels that's appointed to do so. So that's a big part of the structure, and this is how structured the Lord is, that in every detail, he's going to make sure that we're covered. You know, if you praying, or if you doing this, or if you doing that, you covered on all angles, man. That's the beauty of it. And a big part of what Tobit getting his prayers answered, what was part of his partly due to his his alms, his righteousness that he was shown, fasting, so on and so forth. Because as it gets into, I read verse 8, it says, what prayer is good with fasting and alms and righteousness. A little righteousness is better than much with righteousness. It is better to give up alms than to lay up gold. For alms doth deliver from death, and shall purge away all sin. Those that exercise alms and righteousness shall be filled with life thereof. So hey, that's what it is. And just to further show that, right? Tobit 13. Then Tobit wrote a prayer of rejoicing. So even after, he prayed up to stay up, he did his alms, I'm saying, after seeing all what the Most High had done, bringing him out of that low point in which he was at, he then gave another prayer, rejoicing of the Lord, man, pretty much singing, in prayer for him. Then Tobit wrote a prayer of rejoicing and said, blessed be the power that live forever, and blessed be his kingdom, for he does scourge and have mercy. So he showed him how, he brought him down, but he still held him up because he had mercy upon him. He leadeth down to hell and bringeth up again. Neither is there any that can avoid his hand. So hey, is either the Lord going to use his hand to strike you down, or the Lord going to use his hand to hold you up and to bring you up, man. And that's what we're looking forward to ultimately within the kingdom. And all of this, a big part of this starts by that prayer, praying up to stay up, on our daily travels. It was, snowing real bad yesterday. Brothers were stuck in traffic, and that came to mind that, they tell brothers, other brothers say to pray for the brothers that's on the roads, and, thing like that, because that's what's going to continuously hold us up, man, through every single situation in which we go through, and every step of the way. We can't neglect to do so. And Tobit, expressed this big time already through his prayers, and through writing this prayer of rejoicing in the Lord, and just speaking on these different things that he speaks on within this chapter, man, giving the Lord the praise and the glory for all that he had done for him, man. So I just want to do this short lesson, to be a reminder of brothers, and for myself first and foremost, to constantly be on it, a lot more with prayer, and, to continually nourish the relationship that we have with the Most High by praying unto him and keeping that connection strong, So with that, I hope this segment was edifying, and I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to Lek out there doing this work of faith and labor of love, true sincerity. Shalom.